A very good morning. You're watching Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's get started with the headlines this morning. Panama police raid headquarters of law firm Mossack Fonseca at the center of massive data leak. Global economic body OECD meets to discuss cooperation. Income tax department sends questionnaire to 50 people on the leaked list. Protesting NITsrinagar students meet Home Minister and HRD Minister in New Delhi. Seek shifting of campus. Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti meets Prime Minister. Discusses fallout of campus tussle. Second water train carrying 5 lakh litres of water reaches drought-hit Latur. Bombay High Court asked BCCI to shift IPL matches out of Maharashtra. Ministry of External Affairs seeks answers from Pakistan over the mysterious death of Indian national kid Paul Singh in a Pakistani jail. Islamabad claims he died of a heart attack. And South Korean President Park Geun-hye suffers major election setback. Governing Saenuri party fails to win an expected majority in national parliamentary election. Our top focus this morning, acting on the Panama Papers leak, the Income Tax Department has sent a detailed questionnaire to about 50 individuals and entities figuring in the list of those allegedly holding offshore assets in tax havens. Officials said investigation wings of the department in different cities have dispatched the communication to these people, whose names have appeared in the Indian Express newspaper, seeking answers on 2 broad questions from them. The first question seeks to know if they are indeed the people named in the list made public recently, and the second one asks them about the vitals of their transactions made with law firm Mossack Fonseca. It includes the year of incorporation, their sources of income, details of business transactions done, and whether they declared these investments and transactions to the Income Tax Department and other regulatory bodies like the RBI and any till time now. There are about 500 Indians named in the list, which includes prominent businessmen, film celebrities, and those belonging to lucrative professions. The government too has created a multi-agency group of probe agencies to go into these cases, comprising of the Income Tax Department, the CBDT, its Foreign Tax Wing, the RBI, Financial Intelligence Unit, and the Enforcement Directorate. Meanwhile, a number of countries, including India, exchange views and explored mechanisms for cooperation on tax evasion issues during a special meeting called by the global economic body OECD on Panama Papers disclosure in Paris. About 500 Indians, including prominent businessmen, film celebrities, and those belonging to lucrative professions, have figured in the list for holding offshore assets in the tax haven nation. India was represented in the special one-day session by a senior official from the Central Board of Direct Taxes. India adheres to a number of OECD norms for strengthening overseas tax cooperation and also exchange of information. At the first meeting of the specially constituted multi-agency group of probe agencies held in New Delhi last week, it was decided to approach the global body along with another similar forum, the FATF, for support in this regard. The Panama Papers revelations contain an unprecedented amount of information, including over 11 million documents covering 210,000 companies in 21 offshore jurisdictions. And fallout from the Panama Papers rolls across the globe. The police in Panama raided the headquarters of the law firm Mossack Fonseca that is at the center of a massive data leak. Now, this comes even as tax officials from more than 24 countries met in Paris yesterday to initiate a global inquiry into the revelations from the trove of documents.
Raids at the Mossack Fonseca office in Panama, the law firm at the center of a massive documents leak scandal. Authorities say they look for documents establishing the possible use of the firm for illegal activities. With Mossack Fonseca saying it is cooperating in the investigation, searches would also take place at the subsidiaries of the firm. The raid comes at a time when the Central American nation is looking to clean its image of being a tax haven after the papers leak. The nation also urged France to reconsider its decision to put the country on a blacklist of uncooperative tax havens.
El gobierno de Panamá ratifica su posición y le solicita al gobierno de Francia, con firmeza y con respeto, que reconsidere.
Authorities in Peru had also raided the law firm's offices in Lima this week. The leak of 11 million records, the largest document leak in history, shows how Mossack Fonseca may have helped people across the globe to set up shell companies and offshore accounts. The documents implicate scores of world leaders, politicians and celebrities, with many countries probing possible financial crimes individually. On Tuesday, the European Union also demanded greater tax transparency from multinationals, putting forth a new plan to tackle corporate tax avoidance.
That if they are paying taxes outside the EU, in countries, in jurisdictions that don't abide by international good governance standards on tax, that multinationals would have to publish the same detailed information as for a European country.
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news. The Enforcement Directorate is trying to step up pressure against businessman Vijay Mallyas, who has missed its summons thrice in the past. Now, the investigating agency has asked the External Affairs Ministry to revoke his passport. Officials say this could be the prelude to initiating more steps to make Mallyas cooperate with it in its investigation.
Days after businessman Vijay Mallyas failed to honor its summons, the Enforcement Directorate has returned to the External Affairs Ministry to revoke his diplomatic passport. The agency alleged that Mallyas had turned out to be uncooperative with its investigators. The agency is investigating Mallyas for money laundering in the 900 crore IDBI bank loan fraud case.
पासपोर्ट भी इसका कैंसिल होना चाहिए। सरकार सब तरह का तंत्र हाथ में रहते हुए वो चला गया है, इसलिए सरकार जब तक उसको वापस नहीं लाएगी तब तक जो साख है और जो अभी एक्शन इनिशिएट किया गया इनकी सच्चाई तभी सामने आएगी।
Rajya Sabha member Mallyas left the country for UK on 2nd of March using his diplomatic passport. The ED said despite Mallyas being provided fresh dates for personal appearance thrice, he has not cooperated with them.
It is too late and too little. Mr. Vijay Mallyas left the country when he was under the notice of the ED with the consent of the BJP leaders. The previous day he was leaving Delhi, he was with the BJP top leaders and that was known to all. And this action, too late, is not going to be enough for the major crime in which he is involved.
Once Mallyas' passport is revoked, the ED can get a non-bailable warrant and a Red Corner Interpol notice also issued against him. The businessman has to also comply with the Supreme Court order to disclose all assets owned by him and his family in India and abroad by 21st of April. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that India's current growth rate of 7.5% is not enough as per its own requirement standard. He further said that the country has the potential to do much better. Jaitley said this in Washington, where he will be attending the annual spring meeting of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. He is on a week-long visit to the United States. Arun Jaitley also expressed concern over the decline in India's exports. He, however, said that the country's growth parameters were on track and the government is moving ahead on its reform agenda with inclusiveness and successfully meeting all its fiscal parameters. Some other news. Agitating students of the NIT-Srinagar met Home Minister Rajnath Singh and also HRD Minister Smriti Irani in New Delhi yesterday. During their meeting with the Home Minister, they discussed the ongoing stir in the campus following clashes between local and outstation students. During the 20-minute meeting, the students placed various demands, including shifting of the National Institute of Technology campus from Srinagar. The Home Minister is understood to have assured the aggrieved students of security on the campus and suggested them to concentrate on their studies. Later, students said that while the minister rejected their primary demand to shift the campus by saying that Kashmir is an integral part of India, she assured them of support in addressing academic issues. The students said that Irani assured them that if any of the faculty or staff members of the institute has indulged in any wrongdoing, action would be taken as per due process. Meanwhile, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi and discussed various issues pertaining to the state, including the law and order situation. The Chief Minister sought to dispel reports about any animosity between local and outstation students and said her government will ensure security to all students studying in the institute. Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu also separately met Mehbooba Mufti.
The entire system and see to it that such incidents do not reoccur. At the same time, I also apprised her the need to keep in mind the sensibility of the people across the country about vis-a-vis Jammu, Kashmir and all. So she is also alive to the reality of the situation.
जो है वो हमारी जो है हमारा जॉब है उनको सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करना और वो आज नहीं आए हैं, कई सालों से वहाँ रह रहे हैं. आज एक इंसिडेंट हो गया, इस इंसिडेंट की वजह से ये तो नहीं है कि हम लोगों को अलग अलग कर देंगे. तो मुझे उम्मीद है इंशाल्लाह वो बच्चे फिर वापस आएंगे. कश्मीर उनका घर है और दोबारा वैसे ही मिलजुल के रहेंगे जैसे पहले रहते थे.
And I'm sure the way we made a headway today, very soon we'll fall in line because they understand our constraints and we have reasonably tried to understand their issues as well.
कुछ का उन्होंने हमें एश्योरेंस दिया है कि पूरी होंगी, पर जो डिमांड हमारी मेन है लेकिन उस पर अभी कोई स्टैंड है नहीं उनका.
मैडम की तरफ से ये बहुत अच्छे कुछ सजेशंस आए, हमने भी उन्हें कुछ सजेशंस दिए हैं. अब वो मैडम को भी देखना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा टाइम देना पड़ेगा बिकॉज ओवरनाइट उन्होंने भी कोई एश्योरेंस नहीं दिया है, लेकिन हाँ रिजल्ट आएगा धीरे धीरे, इतना उन्होंने एश्योरेंस दिया है.
And Mehbooba Mufti also met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar in New Delhi yesterday. In her meetings, Mehbooba raised the issue of the Handwara firing incident as well. She also sought a time-bound inquiry into the firing, saying it will act as a deterrent.
Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti sought a time-bound inquiry into the Handwara firing incident in her meeting with Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar. 3 people were killed in the incident on Tuesday. Mehbooba hopes an inquiry will act as a deterrent.
बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था. और मैंने कल जनरल हुडा जो हमारे वहाँ के चीफ हैं उनसे बात की और आज मेरी फॉर्चुनेटली डिफेंस मिनिस्टर से भी बात की. उन्होंने मुझे पूरा एश्योरेंस दिया कि इसमें इंक्वायरी होगी, जो इसमें रिस्पॉन्सिबल होगा उनको सजा दी जाएगी और एट द सेम टाइम जो फैमिली है, काफी गरीब लोग होते हैं, उनको भी पूरी तरह से कंपनसेट किया जाएगा.
2 young men and a woman were killed in Handwara when security forces opened fire to disperse a stone-pelting mob targeting their bunker. This followed reports that some army personnel had allegedly molested a girl, but police investigations have revealed the original report to be fabricated. The army also has ordered an inquiry while the police registered a criminal case.
The matter is being investigated. Anybody found guilty shall be dealt severely as per law. जो वीडियो हमने रिलीज किया है उस पर गौर करें तो ये उभर के आता है कि कोई मोलेस्टेशन केस नहीं था और ये इट्स एन मलाफाइड इंटेंट बाय सम एलिमेंट्स टू malign the good image of the Indian Army.
Meanwhile, restrictions were imposed in parts of Srinagar and Kupwara districts to thwart protests against the killing of the 3 people. Separatist groups also called for and enforced a shutdown in Srinagar. Most of the shops, business establishments and petrol pumps were shut. Public transport was off the roads even though private cars, cabs and auto rickshaws were seen plying. NASI was also suspended on Wednesday for mishandling the law and order situation. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
A short break here on Breakfast News. More updates when we return.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate, inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries on Rajya Sabha television.
Thanks for staying with us. The second special train carrying around 5 lakh litres of water for the parched Latur in Marathwada region of Maharashtra arrived there late last night. The region is battling its worst drought ever. The water train with 10 wagons carrying water for Latur left from Miraj in western Maharashtra yesterday morning and took about 10 hours to traverse a distance of around 350 kilometers. The first such train had reached Latur on Monday. The district administration has acquired a huge well located near Latur railway station to store water, which is then supplied to Latur town. On the 8th of April, the train had left from Kota workshop for Miraj in Pune division. The second train, consisting of 50 wagons, is expected to be ready for water loading around the 15th of April. The carrying capacity of these wagons is 54,000 litres of water per wagon. And in view of the acute drought situation in Maharashtra, the Bombay High Court has asked the BCCI to shift IPL matches out of the state. The court said IPL matches cannot be held in the state after the 30th of April. Although the BCCI argued that it would incur severe losses if matches are shifted outside the state, the court observed that the plight of drought victims cannot be ignored. The BCCI also added that Mumbai and Pune team franchises are willing to give 5 crore rupees each towards the Chief Minister Drought Relief Fund. As per the IPL schedule, 13 matches will have to be moved out of the state, out of which 6 were to be held in Pune, 4 in Mumbai and 3 in Nagpur. Meanwhile, IPL chairman Rajiv Shukla said moving the games at this stage will be a problem, but the BCCI will work on an alternative plan.
It's a welcome move. I would have been happy if the government would have taken this decision or IPL and BCCI would have come forward and cooperated on this. Why we unnecessarily waste court's time, I don't know.
We respect the court order and we are going to implement it. There is no question of going for appeal and high court. We are working on the alternative plan where the matches can be shifted, which venues are available, or those exercises will be done.
Been shortlisted?
Exercise has been initiated. Now we'll be sorting out the venues.
It's a welcome step in the right direction. Although one would have expected BCCI to have really done something voluntarily. And this was the best time to, ensure that the trust deficit, which is all pervasive in BCCI amongst the citizens of the country, they do something to address that. But I think a golden opportunity has been lost by BCCI.
Now, in a strong observation, the Supreme Court has said that denying women the right to enter and pray in the historic Sabarimala temple in Kerala cannot be justified on the basis of traditions which violate constitutional principle. This was the observation by a 3-judge bench of the Apex Court. The contention was that the plea seeking entry of women into the temple be referred to a 5-judge constitution bench. The bench also questioned whether a physiological phenomenon can be a guiding factor for denying women entry into the temple. Jay Singh, arguing for NGO Happy to Bleed, submitted that women are part of the Hindu community and hence cannot be denied the right to pray in a public temple, and moreover, that right is guaranteed under Article 25 of the Constitution. The bench said that it would not deal with the customary belief that the bar on entry of women is in place to maintain purity of Lord Ayyappa deity. And now a look at all the election stories in this quick election wrap. Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi and fellow commissioners will be in West Bengal today. This to take stock of poll preparedness in the state where 2 rounds of voting have already taken place. The visit comes 2 days after the removal of Kolkata Police Chief Rajiv Kumar amid allegations of bias towards the ruling Trinamool Congress. This is the second visit of the Commission to West Bengal, which has 6 phased assembly polls. The Communist Party of India Marxist-Leninist will contest 4 seats on its own in the 16th May Assembly elections in the Union Territory. The party is set to contest 3 seats in Puducherry and 1 in Karaikal region. Meanwhile, the Congress will contest on 21 seats and the DMK on 9 seats. The Union Territory has 30 Assembly constituencies. The DMK has released its list of candidates for the upcoming Tamil Nadu elections across 173 constituencies. The list was marked by new faces, a host of former MLAs and ministers, with party treasurer M.K. Stalin seeking re-election from Kolattur. The party had already announced that its chief Karunanidhi would contest again from Tiruvur, and the party is on the field in a total of 173 constituencies, with their allies in the Congress contesting 41 seats. Vijay Kant-led DMDK, which is in alliance with People's Welfare Front for the 16th May Assembly polls, has released its list of candidates for 40 constituencies. The party has given tickets to several of its sitting MLAs, including the party's deputy leader in the outgoing assembly. The party is contesting from 104 constituencies, while the rest is shared by its allies. An earthquake measuring 6.9 on the Richter scale that hit the Myanmar-India border region shook several parts of northeastern India, West Bengal, Bihar, and even Delhi and the national capital region. The epicenter of the earthquake, which occurred at a depth of 134 kilometers below the Earth's surface, was located within Myanmar. Strong tremors were felt in the northeastern states of Assam, Manipur, and Nagaland, where buildings had to be evacuated. Electricity was cut off in parts of the northeastern states as thermal power stations were shut down as a precautionary measure. All the northeastern states are categorized under Zone 5 in the country's seismological map and are considered highly vulnerable. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Chief Ministers of Assam, Manipur as well as Nagaland in this regard. Tremors were also felt in Delhi and the NCR region, where people working in high-rise buildings were seen rushing out and gathering in open areas. Jolts were also felt in Bihar, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh, while the Kolkata metro railway services were temporarily halted following the quake.
बहुत बड़ा झटका था। सब तार उर हिल गया, बिल्डिंग भी हिला है। अभी तक हमारा कोई नुकसान नहीं हुआ, लेकिन बहुत जोर से हिला है।
जो आजकल ये रोजाना भूकंप आ रहे हैं, ये काफ़ी खतरनाक साबित हो सकते हैं। मुझे लगता है इसके ऊपर सरकार को देखना चाहिए कि आने वाले टाइम में जो बिल्डिंगें कच्ची हैं, अगर वहाँ कोई ऐसी हाथाहाथ होती है तो लोगों को उससे बहुत नुकसान होगा। तो सरकार को और लोगों को इससे काफ़ी चौकन्ना रहने की ज़रूरत है।
And 2 days after the mysterious death of Indian national Kirpal Singh in a Pakistani jail, the Ministry of External Affairs has sought answers from Pakistan in this case. With Pakistan claiming that Kirpal Singh died of a heart attack, India asked its High Commissioner in Islamabad to take up the issue to the highest possible level. Pakistani authorities, however, ruled out any foul play and claimed that Kirpal complained of chest pain, after which he was admitted to a hospital where he was declared dead. India has sought official information on the cause of the death, the post-mortem report, and also the early transportation of his mortal remains. The government said they are still waiting for further details in the case. Meanwhile, family members met with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and other senior Foreign Ministry officials. They've demanded that the mortal remains of Kirpal Singh should be brought back at the earliest. Kirpal Singh was kept in a Pakistani jail for nearly 25 years on charges of spying and was on a death row. He was charged with being involved in a bomb explosion. The Lahore High Court later acquitted him of bomb charges, but his death sentence was not commuted.
तो मैंने इन्हें ये आश्वासन दिलाया है कि हम जल्दी से जल्दी उनका पार्थिव शरीर भारत लाएंगे और जो बात वहाँ से कही जा रही है पाकिस्तान से कि दिल का दौरा पड़ने से मृत्यु हुई है, हम चाहेंगे कि पोस्टमार्टम के दौरान इस बात की भी जांच की जाए कि वास्तव में दिल का दौरा पड़ने से मृत्यु हुई है या पहले जिस तरह से हमारे दो एक कैदियों का निधन हुआ है ऐसी कोई घटना उनके साथ हुई है, ताकि जब यहाँ आ जाएगा पार्थिव शरीर तो यहाँ भी हम लोग पोस्टमार्टम करेंगे। एक हम ये भी चाह रहे हैं कि एक जुडिशियल कमेटी जो पहले होती थी, जो यहाँ से जाकर के पाकिस्तान में हमारे कैदी थे उनको मिलती थी, जो उनके कैदी यहाँ थे उनकी कमेटी आकर यहाँ मिलती थी, उस कमेटी को पुनः बहाल किया जाए ताकि वो लोग जाकर के कम से कम उन कैदियों की दशा दुर्दशा तो देखें।
And Pakistan Army Chief General Raheel Sharif said yesterday, in fact, he accused India of destabilizing his country and attempting to subvert its crucial economic corridor with China. Speaking at a seminar on China-Pakistan economic corridor, General Sharif said that the economic cooperation between the two countries had raised eyebrows in the region and that India had openly opposed the $46 billion project. He described the project as a corridor of peace and prosperity, adding that it was a lifetime opportunity for Pakistan to improve the socio-economic equation of its underprivileged areas. The Pakistani Army Chief also asked the international community to not just acknowledge the contribution of Pakistan in the fight against terrorism, but to stop external forces from helping facilitators and abettors of terrorism in Pakistan. And on to some other important global news. At a time when tensions in the Korean Peninsula are at its peak, South Korean President Park Geun-hye has suffered a major election setback. Governing Saenuri Party failed to win an expected majority in the national parliamentary election, winning only 122 seats in the 300-member assembly. Now, it's for the first time since 1999 that the Conservative Party has lost control of parliament. Opposition Minjo Party has emerged as the largest party with 123 seats so far. The final results, though, are yet to be declared officially. South Korean voters handed President Park Geun-hye a stunning political setback in Wednesday's general election. Her Saenuri party lost the parliamentary majority it has held for 16 years. With almost 99% of the votes counted as of Thursday morning, Saenuri wasn't even the party with the largest number of seats, let alone a majority in the 300-seat assembly. It won only 122 seats, while the opposition Minjo Party got 123 seats. The splinter opposition People's Party bagged 38 spots, while 6 seats went to a small opposition party, the Justice Party.
가반 안 좋아서 저에게 좀 해달라고 분명히 호소드렸는데 그 점이 안 돼서 무척 그 점이 현재로서는 아쉽게 생각하는 게 많습니다. 저희들이 잘못이 많이 있어서 그렇다고 보고 있고요. 아무튼 개표의 결과 끝까지 잘 지켜보고.
The outcome came as a surprise to many. Analysts say discontent over South Korea's economy may have eroded the government's standing with voters. Household debt is high and rising in South Korea, and unemployment among young people is at levels not seen for nearly 2 decades. These economic concerns seem to have dominated the election. North Korea was not the major issue.
성향이 강한 정당에 투표를 했고 그 이유가 어쨌든 지금 경제적으로도 굉장히 어렵고 저는 되게 좀 큰 문제라고 생각하는 부분이
각각 국민들이 원하는 거를 더 잘 듣고 그거를 실현하는 국회가 됐으면 좋겠어요. 국회의 의견을 국민들한테 말하지 말고 국민들의 의견을 국회에 반영하는 그런 국회가 됐으면 좋겠어요.
The result dents President Park Geun-hye's prospects of seeing her Saenuri party retain the presidency next year. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And some more international updates in this quick world wrap. Support for Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff is falling apart. The Progressive Party has split from the coalition government, dealing a major blow to Rousseff as she battles against impeachment. The Progressive Party has 47 lawmakers in the lower house. They will now vote in support of the motion against her impeachment. However, Dilma Rousseff has vowed to fight to the last minute despite the desertion of her allies ahead of Sunday's impeachment vote. She says her opponents are plotting a coup against her. Russia and China have urged the United Nations Security Council to demand states report when militants are developing chemical weapons in Syria. A draft resolution in this regard was circulated to the 15-member body. The resolution demands that states, particularly those neighboring Syria, shall immediately report any actions by non-state actors to develop, acquire, manufacture, possess, transport, transfer or use chemical weapons and their means of delivery to the Security Council. Russian UN Ambassador Vitaly Churkin said it could serve as a deterrent to terrorist groups such as Islamic State from using chemical weapons. However, some diplomats dismissed the move as a bid to distract from accusations that the Syrian government is using such arms. Counting of votes in Syria's parliamentary election has begun. The polling process closed at midnight GMT following a 5-hour extension. Syrians voted in the government-held areas of the country on Wednesday. The government said that the vote was held to comply with the constitution, but the opposition termed it illegitimate. The election went ahead independently of a UN-led peace process aimed at ending the 5-year-long war. Meanwhile, a second round of talks began in Geneva yesterday, but an upsurge in fighting has darkened the already bleak outlook for diplomacy. And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks for your time.